So first and foremost, I think we just want to know, why did you choose, this surgery? What was the problem you were facing that you had to, opt for this surgery?
Yes. So I have been married for a few years now, and me and my wife, we are trying to conceive, and we were not able to conceive. And when we went to the doctors, they mentioned that this is due to some infertility, and one of the causes could be the varicocele. So that's where I started researching, like, what is the cure for varicocele, which turned out to be a surgery. And that's where, like, I started looking for who is the best. And at my place, I tried to look for doctors who has all the equipment that is needed to perform the varicocele surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But turns out not everyone in India has all the equipment needed.
So, but overall, if we talk about varicocele as such, what is your understanding? When is surgery needed? When do we get it treated with medicines?
So, I as far as I know, I think grade 1 or grade 2 varicocele is where one could go for treatment with medicine. But what I have is a grade 3 varicocele, which, from my research at least, I do not see any chance of going.
Yes. So usually when the grading increases, so actually what we found intraoperatively was that it was a grade 4 varicocele.
Okay.
Right. It was not just grade 3, because we could see that the veins were so big, and they were also. We'll ask you about your intraoperative experience also, but basically, yes, for grade 3 and above, we should be doing some surgery, because the medical treatment that we have available in our English system of medicine, the allopathic system, is mainly that we give some medicine which deposit calcium in the walls of the veins, and that makes the veins more strengthened. And by that, they become a little straighter, the heat dissemination reduces. So we can get a sort of a control on the varicocele with medicines. That's also not a cure as such, but yes, it may not progress further when you take the medicines and when you follow the lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
So my next question to you is, when you went in for the surgery, what were your apprehensions like? What were you thinking? What was your mindset?
So from the very start, I wanted to make sure that what needs to stay should stay, and what needs to be taken away should be taken away. And again, I think that was the biggest concern that I had, and that's where I started researching, like, who could do it best, who could keep only the things that is needed and remove everything that's not needed. That's where I started realizing that there's a lot of high-tech equipment that's needed, which not everybody has. So so in my mindset, like, I was looking for the best surgeon with best experience, as well as who has all the equipment needed.
So, but when you went inside the theater at that time, what were you thinking about? As in, were you apprehensive? Were there some doubts? And what was all going on in your mind while you were going to the theater?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, like, I had asked you a lot of questions before going into the theater. So we had talked over call, we had talked over chats. You were very responsive, as well as you have cleared all the questions that I had. So I think I was I did not feel any fear or anything.
Okay.
You were very supportive in that sense.
Appreciate it, sir. So when we went inside, when the surgery started, at that time, what all could you experience in the theater? What were the things around you, and what did you see? I want to understand from the patient's perspective.
Yeah.
What could you make sense of? And how was the surgery? What do you think? Was it a simple surgery? Was it difficult? Why was it difficult?
So I think the first thing I would like to thank you is, like, I was able to see each and everything that was happening through the TV that was just right in front of me, and like it's probably, I think it was a microscope that was being projected onto the TV.
Yes.
So, and the way you explained it, each and every step, like what exactly was happening, as well as you showing me like whenever you're like ligating a vein, you're making sure that it's a vein. You're using the Doppler to make sure that it was not an artery that you were ligating. So that made me very comfortable, and I was at the end, like even at the end, you made sure that the artery stayed back. I felt very comfortable with that approach.
And what all structures did you see during the surgery, and why was the surgery difficult? What did you realize in the entire process about making it late, and about how difficult it became? What all did you notice?
Yes, initially, like before the surgery started, I assumed like it will be a clear-cut difference to differentiate between a vein and an artery, and doctors could easily take them apart and remove what was needed. But when I saw that there is nothing clear-cut there, it is really, really difficult to differentiate that, especially for the grade 4 varicocele, like you said, that I had. It is really difficult to differentiate. Even after being in the operation theater for 2 hours, I still cannot differentiate between the artery and the vein. And the patience you had for operating with me for 2 hours and making sure that you're operating on the right thing, I appreciate that a lot.
And my pleasure, thank you. But basically what message I want to convey usually is that as soon as the grade starts to increase, 2 things happen. One is that all the structures, they basically become compressed with each other, so they kind of stick to each other, so it's very difficult for the surgeon to remove them separately. Of course, as you said, they are not color coded pipes, that it is a red wire, so I have to cut this, and this is a green wire, so I have to leave it. It's not that simple. Vein and artery, they look the same, only there is some pulsation, and when you handle it too much, of course the pulsation can go away. So that's why we don't rely on the our own eyes. Also, we rely only on technology to differentiate the artery, to make sure that the lymphatics are stayed away, so that to make sure that all the veins, they are completely cut, and the vas deferens, as you saw, that is isolated all the time. The main bunch of veins and the artery is first and foremost separated from the vas deferens, because we don't want the sperm passage to be injured during the entire process.
Yes, and I really felt comfortable that at every point of time you made sure, like you told me what that you're separating the vas deferens, you're separating a vein or artery via ligating something.
So basically, I think if it's an early grade, I think it becomes a very simple surgery. Usually it takes me an hour, or maybe an hour and or maybe some few 20 more minutes to completely clear off the entire case. But as the grade increases, it becomes more difficult to separate. There is bleeding when you try to separate it without patience. So the case becomes difficult, and sometimes you end up injuring the artery, or despite the best technology. So also through this video, I want patients to understand that they shouldn't wait for the last minute to get the treatment. Sometimes the sooner the better. It becomes simple for the patient also. It becomes less expensive technology wise. You need to use less equipment, and it becomes easy for the surgeon also to kind of do it. So of course, as you said, that there should be some awareness.
Definitely. So that's the thought I had. Like we talked about it in the operation theater as well, that for me, I came to know about this only because of my lower sperm count when we couldn't conceive, and if that did not happen, I would have never known
about varicocele also.
The general public should have some awareness about varicocele, and it's best that they have some idea on how to check it themselves and make sure that it's not too late before they go to a doctor for that.
Appreciate it. So, so that's about the surgery. So how are you feeling now since the surgery has been done? It's been, I think, about half an hour ago it was done. So what is your experience like? Are you feeling any pain? Is there any discomfort? What all exactly is happening? We can be very candid about it.
Yes, absolutely. So after coming out of the operation theater, I have I have taken rest for half an hour, and I have been walking I have walked like 100 steps since then, and I've I feel just like every other day.
Okay.
So there's
you
no
don't
discomfort.
feel too much of pain as such.
Absolutely no pain.
Absolutely no pain.
Yeah.
So basically, and during the process, how bad was the experience of a surgery? In the sense that since it's a surgery, many patients would feel that it would be very painful and it would be very difficult and all. So what would you like to tell our patients?
Even I was one of them who thought that a surgery would be something that is really painful, but that's definitely not the case at all. Even when I felt a little bit of a sting, a tiny bit like of a sting, when I communicated that to you, you made sure that that's not there anymore. So yeah, that was.
So
really
pain experience out of 10, how would you rate the complete experience of pain in the surgery as such?
10 being the most pain, I would say 0.1.
Okay, so very less basic. So it was mainly discomfort that you felt.
There was no pain at all. Whenever there was, I made sure I communicated and you made sure that it.
So it's very important that you keep telling the doctor
yes,
that you're feeling this and that. So as you know now, after this surgery, all you have to do, you can be back to your normal life because you have a sitting job. So of course you can eat anything right away. There's no restriction of eating anything. The only restriction that I would like to levy on you is to avoid lifting any heavy weight for 2 weeks to a month's time, because as you know, we have tied all these veins and we don't want the pressure to increase and any of those stitches to come out or fall off or anything like that.
Sure.
The second thing I would want is that for the exercise point of view, maybe after 3 to 4 days you can start with light walking, but any jogging or lifting and gymming, all that should be avoided for about 2 weeks as such. You can eat anything, you can walk, climb stairs, all those activities are permissible. You can join your office also. You could join from tomorrow also actually, but then it depends on the kind of work that people do. For people who are in the field job, we would want them to at least rest for at least 48 hours.
Sure.
And there's a dressing there. So we can remove the dressing after 72 hours. So in 3 days time, we will remove the dressing. And then there's a stitch. We can put various type of stitches. If it's an absorbable stitch, then it falls off on its own, but it takes a long time. So maybe a month's time. But that's why we put this stitch which is non-absorbable. So it has to be cut after 7 days, anytime between 7 to 10 days. It's a single small stitch, so any doctor can remove it.
Sure.
You don't need any dressing after 3 days, unless you feel the need. So you just need to apply an ointment,
sure,
but you can put a band-aid there. So it's such a small cut that easily you can put a band-aid and that will be enough.
Sure.
Apart from that, any other suggestions for people who want to go for the surgery? Any other things that you want to give as a message in this video?
I think I made the right choice when I chose you. That's the first thing. And if someone has discovered that they have varicocele, I would say do not how to say it, make sure that you get the right treatment at the right time so that it doesn't get more
complicated. At least you can follow up immediately with the doctor. If it's a low grade, at least you can start the medicines.
Yes.
And if it is high grade, then also I think it has to be done somewhere, somehow. So better get over it. That's what I also tell my patients. Thank you so much. And we hope that we will be in touch if there's anything else that bothers you.
Actually, thank you so much.
My pleasure.